Hey guys, what's up? Baby Dad Ezreal here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this video, a very special welcome for the very first video ever posted on this channel. This is something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I finally built up the courage and invested the time to be able to make it a reality. So before I get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I'm just going to give you guys a quick minute of what you'll expect to see from my channel in the future. So my channel is going to incorporate parenting, believe it or not, with video gaming. There is some hard truths and realities to being a gamer parent, and I plan to shed some light on that topic with you guys. I got some fun things in store in the future, and if you like that, just stick around and we'll see what's up. Let me know what you want to see for future content in the likes and comments on the videos. My content is going to be mostly based around League of Legends, WoW, both classic and retail, and some other video game news and controversies as well, with a little bit of anime touch. So thank you so much for sticking around at this point, and remember to like and subscribe and share. Alright, let's get into it. So at the time of this recording, WoW Classic has been out about 2 months at this point, and I don't think there's any argument whatsoever over if it was successful or not. The game is immensely popular, bringing millions of players back to Azeroth, as well as setting a few Twitch viewer records and generating tons of buzz back into the community of the game. Yeah, it had its problems and controversies, such as layering and people able to massively farm dungeons for XP, gear, profession patterns, and practically zero cooldown, and the whole argument with Joker D's speedrun being invalid because of the layering abuse. But overall, it was a successful launch, and it's incredibly popular. You have everybody and anybody playing Classic right now, from the Fortnite streamer Ninja to veteran community members like Swifty revisiting WoW's glory days in Classic, despite Ninja quitting because he couldn't handle the World PvP. And while we do have some clickbait videos out there already on the whole WoW Classic is dying bandwagon due to loss of subs for reasons outside of Blizzard's control, it doesn't mean it wasn't a massive win for Blizzard overall. Despite them having massive blunder after blunder in their public relations department and their reputation doing a huge jackknife dive that all started with the Diablo Immortals announcement, and now apparently basic human rights don't exist in Blizzard's eyes. Everyone is in agreement overall that WoW Classic was hugely successful and is here to stay. The topic that people can't seem to agree on is why is WoW Classic so popular? I mean, retail WoW now is a much more fine-tuned and clean-looking end product. Classic is a much harder game in terms of quality of life. You know, no mount till 40, no built-in quest helper, not even be able to stay in a single zone for any more than 2 or 3 levels at a time without having to devote a lot of time either running around the zones or just massively farming mobs for entire levels worth of experience. Never mind the massive queue times people experience the first month of the game. Sure, it's better now, but you were investing time to even get to play the game instead of spending that time in retail. It's a much more difficult game, yet we find it way more fun, so why is that? I've had my own experiences where I take a step back and think, man, this shit sucks. Why am I devoting so much time to this? My friends have shared their experiences as well. They simply can't explain why they would spend so much of their time playing Classic. They just feel a sense of drive and desire over retail, but they can't put their finger as to why. And while I could make an hour-plus video explaining all the reasons why of what makes Classic WoW so fun and creates that urge of playing you can't simply ignore, I believe I can sum it all up in one word that ties all the other points together, and it's the root cause of every Classic WoW player's addiction to it. That word is also in the title of this video, is community, or really a sense of a community, a sense of belonging. Humans are social creatures, and despite being more connected than ever in the world with Facebook, Twitter, and all of this readily available day or night, 24/7 with computers in our pockets, we never felt more disconnected than ever before in terms of social understanding and true belonging of one another or to a group identity. We can talk to someone halfway across the world in the blink of an eye, yet we don't feel as though we even understand ourselves or anyone around us. Some studies show that as many as 45% of people feel isolated and alone, and it only gets really worse as the generations get younger. And this proves to be true in retail. I mean, you can play the entire 1 to 120 leveling process and not talk to a single soul. You have no need to make a single friend because the game is so streamlined these days. And what this really has done is created the overall social stigma of WoW, that mindset of, well, I'm never going to see or talk to these people ever again, so what reason do I have to be nice, to be a decent human being and just say hi or how's your day going, let alone make any friends that I'm going to talk to later down the road. We're going to spend 15 to 30 minutes together, and then I'll never hear from you again. And what this has done is created a huge void of social interaction within the community. People have no sense of belonging in the game, really. Jumping from guild to guild or having commitment to a single guild has been dead for years. Sure, it exists within the very top end of guilds doing mythic progression, but even that only lasts the current patch at most, let alone the entire expansion. People dip out, find a new place to be for a little while, and do it all over again. That social bond that used to be a roaring fire that rejuvenated us and made us excited for the next time we log in so we can talk to our friends is nothing but a small ember of a flame that it once was. Just the other day, I was playing an alt and I ran the Wailing Caverns dungeon in LFG, and we completed the entire dungeon without saying a single word to each other. If people messed up, there was no correction of what they did wrong and how to correct it, or a single word of encouragement to try again. They just left without a single word being said. The only people talking in the group chat was me saying hi without a single response, and that was it. We went on our way, and I never did get a single word out of anyone in that group. And while these are just my personal experiences and not true for everyone, I'm going to take a guess that it's mostly the same for everyone else. I've done Mythic 15s and not had to say a single word. Yeah, everyone knew what they were doing, which was nice. No one needed any guidance of what to do and what their job was, but the entire experience was empty because of it. It was just a void of wasted time, it felt like. Interactions like that just doesn't exist in WoW Classic. There is no instant gratification and the disconnection that comes with it, because sooner or later you're forced to group up with others, and it happens as early as level 5, I want to say. And because of that, people create bonds with one another and they turn into what could be true friendships. Every server has their own sense of pride, word gets around of how good or bad of a player you are if you stay there long enough, and that community environment just really exists. It's so transparent that you just can't ignore it. In Classic, people say hi as you run past them, people exchange buffs and thank you for them. People are encouraged to ask for help, either with what to do during a quest or how to actually do it, and people will help you just for the sake of doing it, because that community belonging and wanting to give back to the community is there and very present. While I was leveling my priest in Lochmoran, we had a 5-man group go clear the Elite Ogre compound in that area, and just as we were finishing the quest and we were leaving, as we spotted, and we ended up pulling a shit ton of them. We fought them off, but eventually got overwhelmed and we had a bolt, and all I could remember was laughing and smiling while the whole ordeal was taking place. It didn't go the way we planned, it felt like an adventure, and we all added each other after the experience as friends. Moments like that in retail are just memories, and that's really what Classic has done. It brought back community and social aspects of belonging to the game by reintroducing elements of how an individual is supposed to act in a society. It breathed life back into what felt like a dead environment in retail, even on the most populated servers, because you're never forced to play with anyone anymore. Because of this lack of a sense of community, you never get past the surface level context with conversations or interactions with people. You never get past the smoke and mirrors and really know how people are, or even who they are for that fact. Most people, in fact, hate just having surface level conversations with others, and so they shut themselves out completely while in the game. If they can't stand it in real life, then why would they tolerate it in a gaming community? WoW Classic promotes friendships and fellow companions along your journey, and those friendships inside the game can translate to outside the game as well. You know, call me a weird ass nerd, you know, whatever, but I've made true friendships with people in the game. I've met people across state borders who I only knew previously while in the game. We've developed a true friendship that only ever happened because we were in an environment that promoted friendship and social bonding on a deeper level. But I'll tell you right now, it hasn't happened this expansion, it didn't happen last expansion, or really years worth of the games of the last few expansions. It happened a long time ago, where the streamline of getting through the game without talking to anyone wasn't as acceptable as it is today. And you know, it's not that people don't necessarily want to make friends. I mean, some people don't want to make friends, but some people just don't know how, or they don't know how to get around that social stigma of trying to make friends. And, you know, this whole entire commentary, discussion, tangent, whatever you want to call it, spawned from a post I saw in a World of Warcraft group on Facebook. If you didn't know, there's a few WoW groups. The largest one I've seen is like 110,000 members. Some of you might be in that group or even saw that post. And basically what it was is the person made a joke that WoW is the best single-player game around. And damn, that just hit me so hard, because there was real truth behind what was initially a joke. And while I didn't find that original post, I saw tons of posts where people were talking about how how they haven't been able to meet a single friend or person in WoW for literally years. How WoW has become such an antisocial environment, and how they've made friends in WoW Classic, and WoW finally felt like an actual multiplayer game again. It didn't feel like I was playing a single player game in an MMORPG. You play an MMORPG to talk and play with others. You don't play it for a single player game. If I want to do that, I'll go play Darksiders, I'll go play The Witcher, I'll go play Dragon Age, but I'm not going to play WoW for a single player experience. But that's really what it's become in retail. It's just a single player experience, and for most people that's not fun. But you can't, a single person oftentimes can't fight an entire wave by themselves. It takes an entire community to stand up and say, you know what, we don't want the game to be like this. We want it to promote community and a healthy environment for social activity. But retail just doesn't have that. WoW Classic does, and that's what everyone was talking about. And yeah, everything I've said at this point is just my opinion, but I truly believe it holds true for so many people. They're tired of retail feeling like WoW is a single player game. It's not the massive multiplayer online game they originally signed up for, and it's really a broken shell of its former self, at least in the social aspect part of it. Yeah, retail has a lot going for it that Classic doesn't, and yeah, WoW Classic isn't perfect, but for many it was such a relief, a breath of fresh air that was so desperately needed to keep playing this game that for many of us has become part of our identities for as long as we've played it. Community, guys, it's that simple. But that's all I got for this video. Thanks so much for watching this far and joining me on the first step of this journey. Remember to like and subscribe, and until next time, guys, later.